Well, the Islanders have selected #1 overall in the NHL draft 5 times in their history. Billy Harris, Denny Poppin, Rick DiPietro, that man, John Tavares back in 2009, and Matthew Schaefer in 2025. They face off for the first time here tonight. This will be the 18th game for Tavares against the Islanders since leaving to sign with the Leafs in free agency in the summer of 2018. His 10th trip back already to Long Island since joining the Leafs. 9 years as an Islander, played 669 games with the Islanders, 7 goals in 17 games for John Tavares against the New York Islanders.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Austin Matthews plays on for Domi. He'll dump it in from center. Rimmed around towards Ryan Pulock, and he's on it for New York, but Matthews hit the outside of the net as he quickly picked up that puck. Austin Matthews coming off a hat-trick performance on Thursday as Schaefer knocks this one down as we look at our starting lineups brought to you by Ram. Anders Lee settles for a dump in. Joseph Woll will keep it moving.
You're looking for a response start right now as the Islanders look to get in the offensive or at least start a forecheck right now, Butch. That's the biggest thing that I'm looking at. What energy do you play with? What intensity after a game where clearly they were not happy with themselves?
You're exactly right. Do you have your legs moving? And as you said, forget about the last game. Can't change it. Wasn't good. Just get a good outing tonight.
Oh, it is a packed house, and they have not lost their enthusiasm for number 91, Butch.
I'm glad I'm not playing anymore. I hate people booing me.
This one shoveled to the net and hit up off Nyes. It's grabbed by Holmstrom, and the Islanders try to hurry it ahead. Holmstrom hit the red line and with the blue line, he'll carry it, finding trailing D'Angelo. Drouin with a slap pass, hoping for Ritchie. Now it's Cole McWard in his Islanders debut, wearing 4 for New York, as Holmstrom turns and twists it down behind the net for Jonathan Drouin. Drouin went to shovel it to the blue line. Matthew Nyes cut it off. Tavares will take it and double back in his own zone. Hear the crowd.
That's all that offensive zone time. It was Holmstrom looking late. 4 men in the rush. A defenseman coming up at the end. D'Angelo. That's what the Islanders are going to continue to need to do against a team that's going to track back like Toronto.
McWard took a hit, able to make a play from his knees, but it's Siplikov unable to keep Waugh from getting to it. Shabanov with it. It's Shabanov and Siplikov on either side of J.G. Pageau tonight. Siplikov tried to cut it back, and Benoit got a good chunk of it.
Yeah, I like the opportunity, though. I like the try by Siplikov, trying to jump inside.
Hard to believe, Butch, we haven't seen Siplikov, Shabanov play on the same line. Yeah, maybe a shift here or there, but they're going to get a long look today.
And they're excited about it, too.
Yeah, they are.
Well, they can speak the same language. Right?
Yeah. This one sent to the front by Wall. Robertson unable to get it on goal. McWard for Siplikov puts his shoulder into McCabe and forces this one into the zone.
Good first shift by McWard, and didn't panic with the puck. Hung on, had his head up, got his feet moving. All good things.
Not an NHL debut for Cole McWard, called up from Bridgeport as this one covered up.
Company have done.
This one blocked down by Gatcomb. The difference is for all the other guys that have come in this lineup, including Adam Boqvist, they've been forced to play their offside. This time it's Scott Mayfield who slides over, lets McWard play his true side. It's Mayfield who will adjust here tonight. Riley sends it into the corner. Kelly Yarncroke wrestling there with Pelech, and Yarncroke comes away. He'll cycle down. D'Angelo right up the wall, right back to Yarncroke. Right back to D'Angelo. Couldn't knock that one off the ledge of the boards. Coming around once again towards McLean. No Bo Horvat again for the Islanders tonight. He was injured in the game on Thursday against Utah. Did skate this morning, a positive update, but not expected to play here tonight.
Looked like a little bit of a pinball machine, didn't it? Just kind of hung along the wall just 3 or 4 times.
This one just gets locked up, and are we going to get a whistle here? We are.
They're pretty content to grab that whistle, all those guys.
Well, good position by the Islanders, staying on the outside of the Maple Leafs there, so they couldn't beat them back to the middle of the ice.
Well, there's Patrick Waugh, who without Bo Horvat and without the offense producing, forced to kind of readjust all his lines today.
Yeah, he will. It's a constant puzzle, and especially when you miss the big pieces. You're looking at your lineups and going, is there a tandem I can squeeze more out of? I think that breeds into the Siplikov and Shabanov playing together, but it's a tug of war. What can you take from your defensive game and maybe squeeze out of the offensive side?
On the other side of that, Thomas, I think your third and your fourth line's got to play a really simple game, right? They're not multi-talented, no disrespect, but get the puck in deep, play 5-on-5, draw a penalty if you can, or get some point shots.
Off the face-off win, Pulock to Schaefer. He'll move it away from McMahon. Anders Lee Had it bounce off his skate back into the Islanders zone. So he was dealing with Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Pulock off the glass. Heineman a little late getting there. And the Islanders forced to retreat, and it's McMahon trying to put a hit on Schaefer. Heineman coming down the boards, taken by Austin Matthews. Matthews drops off. Here's McCabe. He'll let it go to Domi. They find Austin Matthews. Matthews picked up by Lee, so cycled down. Schaefer twisted it around. Heineman, chance to clear it. Took an extra second and a flip towards Anders Lee. The puck rolls by Ekman-Larsson, and McCabe will come grab it. Austin Matthews gave it up. Heineman down for Barzal. Matt Barzal, he'll play it for DeAngelo. DeAngelo snaps one through traffic, but wide. Adam Pelech waiting for it. Now Barzal finds Pelech cruising in. He shot at the post. It was still loose and covered up by Joseph Woll.
Adam Pelech, a lot more offense this year. I love it.
Looking for his third in 15 games after that long drive.
It all starts in his own end.
This one whipped across Michele. Benoit, one-timer deflected up and out of play.
It's a serious guy.
3,149 penalty minutes in the playing career of Craig Berube.
I believe I might have coached him too, and I don't think I benched him.
38 games for you, Butch.
Yeah.
Here's Holmstrom. He'll pick it up and move ahead. Holmstrom stepped right on through Tavares. Kicked off for Pajot. Walks in, fires, and a save made by Woll.
I'd like to have seen him shoot it at the stick of Holmstrom, right? You're not going to beat a goaltender from 30 feet out coming down the wing.
Schaefer around the back of the net for Pajot. Ryan Pulock forced to pinch in. Tavares takes it and turns. Riley lost it. Hustling is Drouin. Jonathan Drouin takes it around, knocked off balance. Crowd wants a call that they won't get as Drouin goes sliding into the boards. Michele will shoot it in. And we'll say this, it looks like an extra jump in the step of Jonathan Drouin.
Well, he knows he needs to get a goal or two, and he's a goal scorer, and then he's struggling, and everybody goes through those periods. And
none in the last 18 games for Jonathan Drouin. Siplikov holds it in. Shot it behind the net. It's picked up by Benoit. Simone Benoit. Passed ahead off the stick of Robertson. And McWard gave it up. As Waugh came in, kept away from Robertson. Got it back now. Shabanov with the steal. Ritchie hustling to try and give the Islanders some numbers here. Siplikov couldn't get the pass through at the line. And the play whistled down on an offside. Toronto wins the face-off, and it's McCabe. A hand off the stick of Lorentz, and Mayfield under pressure left that puck behind. And as McLean came after it, it's taken by Lawton, spun right through the top of the crease. And sliding in from the blue line is Matt Benning, making his season debut with the Leafs in his first NHL game of the year. He's been down with the Marlies of the American Hockey League. Benoit angles it off the boards like he's played here a time or two, and Riddick had to keep that one away from the crease.
Nice little paddle down. One thing that I noticed, Thomas, about the Maple Leafs is everything is going in behind the net. They're under any pressure along the boards. It's old-time hockey. Throw it back into the net. That's the safest play. And they've got someone going there all the time.
Release, release, release. Here they go again.
Riddick out to stop it back at the goal. Gave to Schaefer. We've got a penalty here against the Islanders for a high stick. Matt Barzal.
He's not pleased clearly behind the play. He didn't see anything coming up, but I think he was trying to set a little pick. That's probably where we're going to see this high stick come up, is just trying to slow up. I think it was Max Domi along the wall.
New York, number 13, 2-minute minor, high sticking.
No, those are penalties you can't take. I mean, we'll just see if we get another look at it from here.
I think it's the other side of the ice, guys, and as Domi was coming in, there you got it. Great work by our guys picking that up just a little bit. I don't know if he got his stick up, did he?
Yeah, it was around the shoulder, it looked like. Now, maybe it rode up the right side. But you're right, he was just trying to slow him down a little bit, Thomas.
Leafs group that fired their power play coach and Mark Savard and came to life just a little bit. Different looks for them. It's an area you'd expect them to thrive. It's been a sore spot this season, but they're finding some traction now.
They're 25th in the NHL. They've only got 17 power play goals for a team that scored 54 of them last year. Austin Matthews. He's got 4 power play goals. Moves it on for Nyes. Here's John Tavares with a look. Missed his spot. Comes out of the zone.
Good aggressive move by Riddick. Came way out. Forced Tavares to have to get a little more fine.
Tavares Forced back towards the boards. Matthias Michelli. Cross for Austin Matthews. Matthews loads it up and looks. Goes to the goal line for Tavares. Schaefer will pressure him. Matthews moves it for Riley. Riley a wrister, and squeezing it was David Riddick.
Riley back on this top unit.
Michelli. Matthews wanted the bumper for Tavares. It was bottled up in front of the net and then came back to Michelli. Slides it over. Matthews shot, pinballed off the stick, and Riddick stays with it, makes the save, and Pelech clears.
One thing about Marner's a terrific passer and has great talent. So when you take someone off your power play that's one of your elite hockey players, unless you can replace him, something's going to give.
Max Domi off the boards towards McMahon. 35 left on the penalty kill for the Islanders as it's taken and cleared down the ice by Mayfield. Islanders penalty kill gave up a couple of goals on 5 times shorthanded against Utah on Thursday. Just the 3rd time this season they've allowed multiple power play goals, first time since the end of October.
It was a tough game all the way around, Brendan.
It certainly was. 7-2 losses. Pajot, instead of shooting at the length of the ice, eating some more clock with a short pass to Holmstrom. He'll do the honors down to the final 10 seconds.
It's got to make the Islander PK feel pretty good about themselves. They had the rough night and they wanted to bounce back with a good performance, and it's a good start for them.
Matt Barzal out of the box. Islanders kill it off without allowing a shot on goal. Pajot trying to twist his way from Steven Lorentz. Barzal will reverse course towards Schaefer. And Schaefer dealing with Lorentz will hand off for Ryan Pulock.
Yeah, nice support there, Thomas, by Ryan Pulock.
Here's a chance for Barzal, cruising in with a shot. Just caught the left skate of Joseph Wall.
That was a good save by Wall to drop that left pad.
Ekman Larson off the stick of Lawton and into the zone. Islanders will get Matt Barzal off and Max Siplikov on. As Barzal have been out there since the expiration of his penalty. Here's Ritchie down the wall. Cal Ritchie with a shot blocker save made. Siplikov. Mayfield rimmed around off the ledge. Shabanov has it land for him. Shabanov, Mayfield, winds, waits, shoots into the glove of Joseph Woll for a whistle. It might be hard for people in the United States to understand what a big deal Hockey Night in Canada is, and for 2 guys, an 18-year-old Matthew Schaefer and a 20-year-old Cal Ritchie, both from the Toronto area, to be on Hockey Night in Canada tonight, no doubt they know how many eyeballs are on them.
Yeah, more than you've ever had in your entire life, and millions of people tuning in to see you and your team go against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Probably everyone's cheering against you, but for you and your own personal success, which I remember my first game on Hockey Night in Canada. Every single time, I think players on both sides, they know when it's Hockey Night in Canada.
They want a towel.
Yes, you do. The interview towel.
You get the interview towel to put over your shoulder. Big deal. This one off the glove of Matt Barzal. Heineman had a chance on it, but it rolls out and it's Domi crisscrossing with McMahon through center. Bobby McMahon got 4 goals in the last 7 games. He's had himself a strong season so far. As this one gets stuck along the wall, McMahon pulled it free. Now Austin Matthews. And playing with Matthews doesn't hurt. McMahon's instance is this one directed intentionally up and over the glass as Domi and Pulock getting into it in front of the net. Arizona, Montreal, Columbus, Carolina, Chicago, Dallas, Toronto would be the career path for Max Domi.
Got a lot of alumni spots to go to.
Heineman for Schaefer. He'll pull it back for Pelech. A wrist shot that sailed high off the glass and came to Matt Barzal. So 4-on-4, Islanders have scored 4 times this season. There's going to be 3 times this season at 4-on-4. They've allowed 4 goals.
And no Horvat, which he loves to be on the ice at this point in time.
Barzal steps, shoots that one. Again high and off the glass.
Going for the toy department there, Brendan, and it was available.
Shopping after the holidays?
Yeah, it was shopping.
There's window shopping there, apparently. D'Angelo will put it on for Drouin, and it's Holmstrom stopping along the blue line. Played over for Mayfield to skate into it. Cuts it back on Tavares. Draws a penalty. Scott Mayfield. It's contagious, the offense from Schaefer on the blue line.
It is.
Let's see what we've learned here since Chicago. 4-on-3 in overtime for full 2 minutes. Didn't really have anything at all. Clearly, probably some footage looked at there. Maybe some improvements that we're going to see now.
Yeah, I'd like to see 2 up and 2 down low, Thomas. We'll see if they go that instead of the diamond.
This Islanders power play brought to you by Genesis. Barzal on the change of direction. They have Schaefer at the top and get it to him. Drouin's in front. Schaefer and Barzal playing catch. Heineman the option on the near side. Heineman, best shooter on the ice. He makes his move to play to Barzal. Barzal trying to force it to Drouin. It's cut off and cleared.
I'd like to see Butch, just the guys a little bit higher. And Matt Barzal, so creative, one of the best passers that we've seen in a long time. But you got to be in a shooting position as well. That makes you more of a threat. Maybe opens up those great passing lanes.
10 seconds left of 4-on-3. Schaefer couldn't reach it, so this will quickly transition to just a 5-on-4 power play with only Tavares left in the box. Barzal gains the line. There's Drouin just a step next to him. Pulock to the bench, Domi onto the ice. And now as the puck goes down to the Islanders' end, everybody will make some changes. 50 seconds of power play time here. DeAngelo cruising through with great speed. Can he turn the corner? Settled for a backhand shot that hit the apron. Chance to clear for Järnkrok, and he'll get it down.
That was a real good job by Järnkrok in the corner. Won that battle with Anders Lee and able to make it clear.
Max Shabanoff crossed the line, still with it. Siplikov, DeAngelo had to adjust. Off the skate of Holmstrom. 20 seconds left on the power play. Holmstrom straight away. Now DeAngelo. Back door for Shabanoff. Chopped it out of the air, and whoa! We rolled the dice on the video reviews on those, and we no doubt would have had one had that puck gone in. Austin Matthews will clear it, and that will pretty much do it for the Islander half a power play.
That's why I talked about the faceoffs being important in the opening. Easy clear for Toronto there.
Schaefer chips it in. Joseph Woll thought about coming to get it, had to retreat to his crease. Siplikov's pass hits Shabanoff, skating comes out of the zone. Ryan Pulock will stop up here inside 6 minutes to play in the opening period. Islanders out shooting the Maple Leafs 7-4. No score with Riddick and Woll doing their jobs. This one tossed off to the corner. Gatcomb goes shoulder to shoulder with Albrecht and Larson. In comes McLean and McMahon and Matthews and Cizikas, and finally it comes free. DeAngelo's wrister knocked down in front as it hit the back of Benning.
Good shot there from DeAngelo. Yeah, it got stopped in front, but it was a screenshot.
Cizikas ran Domi off the puck. Pellick backhands around towards DeAngelo. Kyle McLean to Gatcomb. Islanders dump it in. Mark Gatcomb back in the lineup. He was scratched against Utah on Thursday. And his fourth line put back together in full for the first time in a few games.
Yeah, they've been good when they've played together. And for me, the games I've watched, they've created time in the offensive zone. They've been physical.
Riddick will leave off. Both teams will shuffle their personnel. Mayfield. An errant pass that's taken by Robertson.
He was looking for Schaefer. I thought Schaefer was on the ice.
McCabe shot off the blocker of Riddick. Albrecht and Larson winds it around towards McCabe. McCabe for Nyes off the bench. He's cruising in. Tried to switch to the forehand and lost it. This one kept alive momentarily by McCabe and right to Heineman. Heineman charges ahead, surrounded by Leafs. Still has the puck though. He'll play it around the net. DeAngelo pinching in. Trying to stop up on Nyes. Play to the end wall for Lee, but it was McCabe in the way. This one got through Pellick and comes out of his zone. DeAngelo for support.
Both of these teams have checked very well in this first period.
Islanders trying to catch Toronto in a change. They scramble into position as DeAngelo wires one, hit a leg, and goes well wide. It was Benning and Pellick who were parked in that slot. Hit somebody and off to the corner as the Islanders retreat to their own zone. DeAngelo will take what he can get. He didn't get the red line though, but they wave it off. Centering feed from Ritchie was denied by Nyes. Nyes will hit center ice and he'll dump it in. Michelli turned it over with a pass right to Jonathan Drouin. Drouin will settle for the chip and the chase. Morgan Riley moves it around. Mayfield trying to get there to hold it in. He did. Puck poked at Lawton to Riley. Cal Ritchie hustling back, trying to get to Järnkrok, and Järnkrok couldn't reach it. McWard will leave off for Scott Mayfield. And then Ritchie for Siplikov. And he'll try to get on through. Siplikov still with it behind his back for Shabanov. The stick lift of Lorentz.
Pretty good imagination there by Siplikov, knowing that's the only way he had a chance to get it to his teammate.
Here's a chance for McCabe. It hit a body in front. Pajot kicked at it. Domi had a chance on it. Lorentz again. This one scooped up. Domi for McCabe. A little backhand shovel hoping for Lorentz.
Too many passes there for the Maple Leafs.
Got almost 4 minutes since our last whistle. Pajot into the zone. Shabanov. Siplikov couldn't reach it. It was there. Shabanov again. Siplikov in front. They'll use the boards for Polak. He let one fly. That one changed directions and went well wide. Barzal fighting for it, but it's Domi with the aerial flip. Matthews and Schaefer. And Schaefer got just enough of the stick of Matthews.
You see the size and the power of Matthews there. He just goes shoulder to shoulder and ends up getting the bounce. A great recovery from Schaefer, harassing him.
Barzal for Anders Lee. He ripped it wide. Coming around for Schaefer. Schaefer tried to go to the net again. McMahon got a piece of that. Michelli's pass. It was Heineman getting a stick. Now Austin Matthews takes a bump from Anders Lee. Puck loose back of the goal. Benoit, stick check by Heineman. McMahon nearly run off the puck, but Michelli able to chop it in. Riddick out to play it, and he'll make the safe play behind the net instead of in front of it.
Yeah, Butch feels like the intensity picked up a little bit here in the last 5 so minutes without a whistle. Has worked in the favor of both teams. I think the Islanders even more so.
Everybody's trying to finish the period up a goal. That's the problem certainly for the Islanders.
Tavares hands off for Nyes. You see he crosses the line. He'll dump behind, and Riddick will keep it moving. At Barzal with Tavares on his back. Took a whack there on the hand. Didn't get called in this one. Shot past the net. Oliver Ekman-Larsson just dragged that puck inadvertently out to center. Morgan Riley with 50 seconds on the clock. Nice. He'll charge in. Leave for Tavares. Took a bump from Gatcomb. Nyes gets tangled up there with D'Angelo. Puck roll to the slot. Chopping at it was Tavares. And the glove of David Riddick able to make the grab.
Matthews, who's a hungry goal scorer. Schaefer's had his best. A little dive and creates maybe the little puck luck there. As not for certain Matthews, but there's Johnny T trying to figure out how to get it past the goaltender. Not today, not in our building.
What is it? Look what I found?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, well, I call that positioning of the glove.
Schaefer trying to clear here. 35 seconds to go in the period. Schaefer has a pin. McMahon jams it free. Came to McMahon again. Schaefer trying to lock him up. Lost his footing. They both go down. And now Domi. His pass off the skate. It comes right to Riley. Riley wanted Matthews. Ryan Pulock was there. 15 seconds to go in the period. Domi. He'll take it around the outside. Opens up. Tossed to the net. No traffic, no tip. No problem for David Riddick. 9.7 to go.
That was gobble gobble, wasn't it?
Nice little free save, and you look at the personnel, right? This is obviously who Patrick Waugh wants out. We came out of a commercial break. Pajot in the dot, head-to-head against Matthews. Patrick Waugh trusts this group here.
Face-off win, it's Morgan Riley for Domi. 5 seconds left as that shot deflects to the corner. Riley around, Matthews can't grab it, and that will do it for period number 1 between the Islanders and the Leafs. A scoreless first period, but well played by both teams. Well, there you see the Islanders' former captain. He spent 5 years as the captain here, 9 years total with the team as he was drafted number 1 overall in 2009.
Now, they got some Hall of Famers on the Toronto Maple Leafs over the years. And in fact, to a guy named Davey Keon, was a heck of a hockey player for him. For your time, Thomas.
Yeah, I know the name well, though.
Underway here in the second. Both teams had some chances. Both teams had 7 shots on goal. Neither team able to score during that opening period. Toronto, they've won 3 of 4 since the Christmas break as this one deflects up off the stick of David Riddick. They've got points in 5 straight overall. 4-on-1, a turnover by Barzal, and then he was able to disarm McMahon, and now he's up ice in full stride. Barzal cuts it back, takes a look, steps in, shoots, and that one rolls over the net and off the glass. Boy, almost put it on a platter on the other end of the ice, turned into a scoring chance for the Islanders.
It looked like Wald missed that puck, too, even though it was a little high. Had it hit the net, it may have gone in.
He's shooting tonight. That one in the first period, too. There was something upstairs on Wald, just missed, but I agree with you, Butch. It looks like maybe not tracking it perfectly as Wald.
Jonathan Drouin couldn't sneak that one under the stick of Troy Stecher. Now it's Adam Pelech across for D'Angelo. Back again, Pelech, a wrister, and that one into the glove of Joseph Woll.
Well, this is impressive, Butch, and this is what we're talking about. At one end, you make a little bit of a gap, but watch the stick of Matt Barzal right after. A quick stick lift, you're not taking a penalty, and boom, off through the races you go. We'll take a look at this shot, see if he had something there.
Look at Larson. He's backpedaling like he just lost a dollar bill, right? That was a bit of a duck by the goaltender, wasn't it? He looked like he got my head. I'm not getting blocking this one. Some goalies like to use their head, but apparently not him.
The Swedes.
Yeah.
They do. They like it. I don't know if they like it, but they're known to do it.
Comfortable.
Woll was a big part of what's going on in Toronto. I mean, Anthony Stolarz, Justin Woll, you figured that was going to be a great tandem coming to the year. These guys have hardly been healthy at the same time the entire season, and they're trying to...
Pelech scores! Adam Pelech from way out finds its way off the bar and in.
And he's going first too, Brendan.
He can't stop scoring. 3 goals in the last 15 games for Adam Pelech after a 114-game drought.
Change the number to 4. Look at, he changes the angle, just looks, gets it by, and it looked like Drouin was in a position to maybe deflect it, but it starts with a face-off win, Thomas.
Yeah, and it was Drouin, and you can't stop there, right? You get to the net, and maybe you touch it, maybe you don't. We'll continue to take looks at it, but you draw the other centerman, Tavares, with you. That creates a screen from Woll and a shot that would be an easy save if not for the bodies going to the net. Good job by Jonathan Drouin, whether he gets it or not. You mentioned the angle change on Adam Pelech to find himself that lane. Islanders get the first.
And the goaltender, he was just trying to make an area save, because he just slid across and was hoping it was going to hit him.
Siplikov, Shabunov, and McWard, 3 across as they get into the zone. Siplikov will track this one down, throw some bodies around, popped out. Shabunov can't twist it on goal with any sort of velocity, and so it's covered up.
Yeah, this is a line you don't need to break up. You don't need to experiment with it. They've played well when they played together.
This one went up in the air and gloved at by Gatcomb. Cizikas for Gatcomb. Islanders carry in. Gatcomb for McLean. McLean to the net, and that one sailed wide. He was hoping for a Gatcomb tip. McWard around for Gatcomb. The Islanders resisted breaking up this 4th line for so long and then kind of took them out one at a time. Put Anthony Duclair there for a bit. Now they're all back in with Gatcomb returning today. Stecher over for Lorentz. Leaned on by Schaefer. Lorentz from below the goal line. Put it off the pad of Riddick. This one coming around. Islanders trying to get sorted out in the defensive end. Lorentz again fired right across the goal mouth. Takes an Islander hop down the ice. They have announced the goal for Adam Pelech from Jonathan Drouin. As we talk about Drouin needing the goal, he just needs some positive things going. His goal drought is at 18 games, but he only has 3 assists total over those 18 games. That tip from McMahon goes wide. First time he's got points in consecutive games since the middle of November. This bouncing puck had to be punched over the net by Riddick.
What a great reflexive save that was by Riddick, as you mentioned.
Barzal slips through. He's got Lee. Barzal into the glove of Joseph Woll.
Didn't get it right up in the toy department. It was about 2/3 the way up. Goalies and I've got this one.
Eyes ahead for Michelli. It's no icing here as D'Angelo was involved. Riddick looking for somewhere to go with it. Goes high up off the glass. Stecher on the keep in. That one sails over the net. Jonathan Drouin takes a second. Moves away from Tavares. Pelech to D'Angelo. Flipped up in Holmstrom's direction. Holmstrom kicks it over the line. Couldn't hand it off for Pajot. Holmstrom has it again. Snaps one off the glass.
Is the scouting report on this goaltender shoot it high? Because there's got to have been at least a half a dozen, maybe more, over the top of the net.
I was thinking the same thing.
Nice. Defended by D'Angelo. Got the pass over for Ekman Larson. That shot knocked away from the front of the net. Matias Michelli. His pass for Tavares. Tried to hand it off there for McCabe. It got knocked away from that duo. And Holmstrom for Pajot. Over the line. Pajot with a step on Ekman Larson, but couldn't turn the corner.
Good job by the defenseman. Cut the angle down, used his upper body strength.
Oliver Ekman Larson, who was named to the Swedish Olympic team yesterday. Quite the career arc for Oliver Ekman Larson, who's playing in his 1100th game here tonight.
When in doubt, go win a cup in Florida, revive your career. It's the template for a lot of defensemen. He's been so solid.
bought out in Vancouver, wins the Stanley Cup in Florida, and now here in Toronto and going to play for the Olympic team in Sweden, something he did in 2014.
Now that's a smart thing for a veteran player to do, is go to a team that you have a chance to win a Stanley Cup. You want to win one in your career, don't you? And you get the opportunity, yeah, take the team that's most likely to win a cup. I think that's brilliant.
Here's Schaefer, Rister, that one blocked by Austin Matthews. This one flipped high, up and out of the zone. Cal Ritchie thought about a drop pass. Siplikov was there, but so was Matt Benning. And Bobby McMahon will skate up ice with it. Dumped in from center. Islanders with a 1-0 lead on the third of the season from Adam Pelech. Domi, his pass right to the wrong team. Shabanov can't get it out. This one shoveled wide of the net. Domi with the change of directions. Attempted pass to Waugh, knocked away, but Waugh gathers it up again. Domi over, Stetcher waits. Fed it deeper for Cowan. That pass through the front of the net, and Robertson shot it high.
Boy, that was a good attempt. That was on the fly, a one-timer.
Shabanov with the alley-oop pass towards Gatcomb. He'll catch up to it. Nowhere to go with it, though. Easton Cowan trying to dodge a hit from McLean. Then Cizikas came in, ran into some resistance there with Stetcher. Waugh shoved off the puck by Mayfield, but it's Robertson over. Stetcher trying to get up on it, but it's Heineman making that difficult. Waugh will dump it in. Riddick left that puck there next to his net for a long time before playing it out of the zone. Heineman to Barzell. Barzell couldn't work that one through for McWard, who was trying to join. Leafs will regroup and set up here. Stretched on for Scott Lawton, the former Flyer. Offside at the line.
Formidable group there. Canada can match them in that area, but right here, defense, the best in the world, Team USA, in my opinion.
And they left Adam Fox off of it. Quinn Hughes wasn't healthy last year for Four Nations, so he takes a spot.
Jones got hurt the other night in Florida, so who knows?
Yeah, last night in the Winter Classic.
Yeah.
Puck off the face. Austin Matthews hangs onto it. This one settled down by Matthew Schaefer. Barzell will turn it up ice. Heineman crossing the line. Off the boards for Barzell. Bouncing puck off the tip from Heineman. Schaefer settles it. Schaefer swings it around towards Barzell. It was cut off instead by McCabe. And McMahon just clears it out of the zone. And Schaefer will put it right back where it came from.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of times tonight that last play, McCabe cut it off behind the net. The Islanders want to use that, but the Toronto defense corps just seems to be cutting those things off. You figure, let some sustained offensive zone time. Might have to get by that somehow.
Good experience back there on the Maple Leaf blue lines. They've been there before.
Adam Pelech ahead for Jonathan Drouin. Drouin, Holmstrom, and Pajot again here.
Drouin has skated very well in tonight's game so far. Very noticeable. The Islanders need that from him.
Islanders went out and signed him to a 2-year contract. Matthew Darche did over the summer. Hoping to bring some more offense, hoping to help the power play. And as Drouin and Pajot hit the line together, the trailer's Holmstrom. He'll take it off the boards. Holmstrom snaps one, loved and held by Joseph Woll.
Well, there's Holmstrom there, and you mentioned Jonathan Drouin. He's skating so well, so you got to make plays along the wall to unlock him. You got pressure, a difficult thing to do. It's just a little touch, then you get back up in the play. But there's Drouin continuing to want the puck, driving to the net there. And it doesn't turn into anything, but it turns into a face-off in the offensive zone, not in your own end. Nice job on the wall.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know if he plays center. I'm not sure who plays what in this position. I mean, you expect Pajot. But I like Drouin in the middle. I think he's comfortable there and probably played there at some point in time. He looks good there. And, of course, he got the right-hand shot on the right wing, and then that's Pajot.
Hey, it takes a lot of face-offs for a winger.
Yeah.
Yarncrow came barreling in. Mayfield tried to hold his ground, but he was on the train tracks there. And he gets a rough ride from Yarncrow. We're going to have an icing call. It's our Built Ford Tough Play of the game, brought to you by your local Ford stores. Leafs control the face-off. Easton Cowan, rookie, trying to cut his way to the net. Got free and shot it high. Boy, the seas parted for Easton Cowan, the 20-year-old out of London.
One-on-one with the other 20-year-old Cal Ritchie. Those guys in the OHL last year, NHL this year. Impressive stuff from Cowan.
Siplikov for McWard. Cole McWard in his Islanders debut. Risks a shot. Did it go in? It hit the post. It deflected right out in front. It got behind Woll and stayed out.
Boy, talk about patience for him. He didn't want to get it blocked, so he just waited till there was an opening.
Cowan plays it for McCabe, looking back door, never got it through.
Yeah, Larson was wide open. That would have been a tap in.
Here's Robertson. That shot blocked, and it'll pop high in the air and land down at center. Well, McWard's shot tip may have been Ritchie who tipped it, but it hit the elbow right where the crossbar meets the post and took a bounce away from the net.
Wouldn't that have been something?
No. Shabanov with the high flipper. McWard's only played in 6 previous NHL games, but he already does have a goal. Scored in his 2nd NHL game as Austin Matthews cuts right to the net and scores. Austin Matthews stays hot. He's got his 19th goal of the season, and he's got his name right next to Matt Sundin in the all-time book for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
It was a tired D pair out there, Butch. It started here in the offensive zone. The patience by McWard. I think it went off, yeah. Ritchie, Mayfield, both in front of the net. The connector, and as you go the other way, you got a tired D pair, turned the wrong way, and you got the greatest goal scorer in Toronto Maple Leafs history officially right there, tying Sundin in about 250 fewer games. It doesn't take much, Butch.
That was just a good power move. Puck to the outside, hang on, patience, and Riddick's not able to slide all the way across him. That's a goal scorer's goal. Those guys have the patience to get that puck outside the goaltender.
There you go. It's goal number 420 for Austin Matthews. Sundin did it in 981 games tonight. 664 for Austin Matthews.
He just gave away the trivia, by the way.
Oh, did I? You think so? No, Sundin never played for the Islanders.
No, I'm kidding.
Not that one. As Lawton played a little bit down. You think somebody else on that list?
Maybe.
Okay. Here's Yarncroke. Watched by D'Angelo. It's Stetcher. Snaps one off the pad of Riddick. Steven Lorentz for Benning to Yarncroke. Yarncroke turns and shoots that one in the skates of Lawton. He's able to twist it to the goal, and ready and waiting was David Riddick to make the stop. Adam Pelech will take what's in front of him as he hits the Islander blue line, then the red line, and he'll crank this one in. Around the back of Joseph Woll. Comes to D'Angelo. Settles it down, shoots it. That one hits Drouin, and he goes down in a heap. Meanwhile, it's Knies rushing up ice with Michelli. Drouin goes off the ice with 1 foot in the air. Coming around towards Michelli. Poked down, it's Benning. And play it right off the back of the referee. Pajot can't nudge it by Benning. Michelli on it once more with the handoff. Matthew Knies for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Let it go to Knies, back of the net. Pajot kept it from Tavares. Now it's Adam Pelech going for a skate. Pelech off Anders Lee and in.
Good job by Adam Pelech. Never stopped skating, Thomas. Had his head up, looking to make a play, but he never stopped skating.
Icing coming here against Toronto.
And we used to talk about guys that flamingo.
Yeah.
Thomas, sure remember that. You lift the one leg up, and sure enough, it hits the one leg that's up.
Got 3 tired Leafs on the ice, about a minute and almost 20 seconds at shift length right now for Riley, Knies, and Michelli, but I'll just wait out the change here as Toronto gets what they need. Ekman-Larsson's pass for Domi. Separated from the puck by Pulock, then Lee had it and lost it to Austin Matthews. Schaefer flipped along into the skates of Heineman. And Matthews will take over again for the Leafs.
Schaefer's been very quiet tonight, Thomas. Hasn't really got up the ice a whole lot as much as we've normally seen him.
I think part of that, too, when we see Schaefer, it's a hard matchup game right now. He's seen Austin Matthews. It feels like every single shift he's been out there. That means you're going to be defending probably more than you'd like to be, but it also means when those great goal scorers are out there, you know they're going to pursue the puck. Is there a chance that you can counter that, maybe catch him out of position? Well, no doubt we're going to see Matthew Schaefer joining the play and getting up at some point here.
Mayfield lost it. Wall with a backhand stuff attempt, and Riddick was there to hug the post. McWard can't clear it. Cowan to Waugh. They'll tap it to the back. Benoit to Benning. Rister to the side of the goal for Cowan. Mayfield a chance to get it out. He will this time. Siplikov has Shabanov and Ritchie. The drop pass for Shabanov just a little bit out of his reach, and Robertson able to take it away.
Yeah, I'm not sure Shabanov was looking for that pass. It's a pretty good. For me, Thomas, I thought he was going to drop it, but it didn't look like Shabanov was ready for that.
McWard will stop and wait behind the net. By the way, just talk about how far the bar is raised for Matthew Schaefer. He's got 1 minute and 2 seconds of possession time. That leads all players. When we talk about him not having the same jump he normally does. There's Cizikas back at the goal. With a quick turn away from Lawton. Cizikas fighting through Lawton to the blue line. Rister, D'Angelo saved by Woll as it hit him with McLean right there at the edge of the crease. And we get a whistle and a little confrontation there, but nothing coming from this.
Well, that line continues to do good things. I mean, they get the puck in deep, then they win the one-on-one battles. They get it back to the point, and everybody goes to the net. I mean, look at all three guys heading to the net, looking for the loose puck, and they're playing the game the easy way, but at the same time, it's really hard work, Thomas.
Yeah, it's a great job getting to that area. And for the Leafs, there was a lot of noise made earlier this year when I talked about Anthony Stolarz right for the Islanders scored. He took a beating. He was upset, sort of called his team out. Then the Islanders go to the blue paint with Woll, a guy that's had trouble staying healthy as well. Islanders continue to go to that area. And the point shots seem to be one of the more dangerous things tonight as the Islanders scored one. Another opportunity there. The Anders Lee one. First period comes to mind as well. Get to that blue paint.
Joseph Woll missed the start of the season, took a month-long leave to attend a personal family matter during training camp. Didn't come back until late October to the team. Didn't make his season debut until November 15th, and by that time, Anthony Stolarz was out with an injury. Still don't have a timetable on his return. So it's been Woll and Dennis Hildeby that have been the goaltending tandem for Toronto this year. Pageau plays it out for Adam Pelech. Pelech down the boards. Drouin trying to fight through Ekman Larsson to get there. Those two tie up. Really tie up and allows Holmstrom to come on. He was able to absorb a hit from McCabe and make a pass out to D'Angelo. Nothing there. He'll play it behind his back below the goal line.
Yeah, there's that cutting off the back of the net again from the Leafs D. Plays over.
That's just a good read and recognizing where the out is.
Matthew Knies got some support there from Tavares. Tavares across Anders Lee. Able to take it from McMahon. And Lee chips it in. Going shoulder to shoulder with Stetcher. Puck was there for Riley. In came Heineman to finish the check on him. Ryan Pulock trying to hold his own. Cannot.
A thing of beauty there from Lee. 1-on-4, knifed his way through it. Started a forecheck now. Best Toronto could do was put it back in the hands of the Islanders.
There was Schaefer going off the ice. Didn't get the pass from Heineman. Maybe didn't expect him. Didn't see him.
That one got through for Heineman. Had it in his skates, able to kick it to his stick and get it down low. Lee up the wall. Domi and Heineman, and flying by was off to Matthews with good speed. He'll get it to McMahon on the outside. Matthews driving, and Schaefer wouldn't let it through. Schaefer's pass gets ahead for Barzell. He'll gain the line. Barzell moves it. Heineman shoots it. Save from Woll. Rebound cleared away and out to center.
There wasn't able to pick a corner. It's amazing how forwards, when they get a chance, seem to hit the middle of the net all the time.
Here's a chance for McLean to try and bring it to the front of the net. Islanders, that was just their third shot of the period. Got 4.5 to go in it. McLean worked it deep. Benoit wrapped up by Gatcomb. Puck finding its way to Mayfield. Gatcomb shovels it deeper. McLean worked on by Matthews and Benoit. Matthews got the puck away, and it's Matias Michelli. Flipped up in the air, batted down by the high stick of Mayfield. The former Islanders #1 overall pick in John Tavares had this to say this morning. He's a stud. I mean, he can play the game, and he's been really special. I think he's come in and just been a game changer throughout the league. And obviously, the Islanders seems to have tremendous character, a great head on his shoulders. The ability to play the game is special. And like I said, we'll have our hands full tonight, even though he's someone that's only half a season into his career. He's been really, really impressive. Whether it be coaches or players, everybody has already gotten a look at Matthew Schaefer, whether they've played against him or not. I mentioned earlier, those two will be linked. Only 5 times the Islanders have gotten the #1 overall pick in the draft, and those are 2 of the 5. Shabanov plays it down. Siplikov, but a knockdown Benning. Taken by Benoit. Move it ahead and out of the zone back in. McWard had it and lost it, but Shabanov there to help it along.
McWard's been fine. For me, Thomas, he's been fine.
Got poise.
Shabanov tried to dance his way through, and it was poke checked by Benoit. Looked like he was going for the hip, got the puck by accident. Worked out okay for him. McWard couldn't grab that one. Robertson with a turnaround shot from the low slot, and Riddick makes the save on Robertson.
Yeah, all alone in the slot. A little faux call by the Islanders.
Oh, another big save by Riddick as Lawton came in unmarked. Islanders ice the puck. And it was that same D pair that's on the ice right now in Mayfield and McWard. A minute and a half into their shift. They'll have to continue it here after the icing. I was on the ice, those guys at the same point in their shift on the Matthews goal. As Tavares from his knees put in the slot, and Michelli able to step into one. Drouin off the ledge of the boards. Ryan Pulock for Heineman. And as he topples over, tries to stay with it. Domi kept it alive. Domi hands off. McMahon. Matthews has another one. And Austin Matthews, now the all-time leader in goals scored in Toronto Maple Leafs franchise history. And the bench empties in celebration.
I don't know if you can do that, can you?
They asked for permission ahead.
Oh, I guess so they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
John Tavares last time, his 1,000th point that the Leafs did this on this ice. And I mean, we'll get to the goal in a little bit just to talk Austin Matthews. I mean, unbelievable when you look at the numbers. Sundin, 981 games, Brendan, as you mentioned, what, 300 games quicker. We're talking about a guy that's on a pace quietly that if he stayed healthy, scoring at the exact same rate as Alexander Ovechkin. And here we are. It's just that quick. All of a sudden, it's in the back of the net. He opens up, and I mean, the second that thing turned over from our vantage point, in the back of the net, two-man pressure everywhere. There's McMahon, there's Domi. Every face-off Toronto is coming to. If you do not execute, it's in the back of your net. And watch this as history's made here.
Just, again, a poor job of checking by the Islanders, and not much Schaefer can do. He's trying to stay in between, and that man there, Matthews, you give him an empty net, not going to shoot it over, not going to miss it. So Islanders just soft it just inside their blue line, didn't win the one-on-one battle, give up the opportunity.
Matthews, his 20th from McMahon and Domi. As Holmstrom tries to answer that one, kicked up off the ice.
A lot about Toronto in this period.
D'Angelo to the net, and it's kept out by Woll with Pajot right next to the goal. It's 2 goals in 7 minutes and 49 seconds for Austin Matthews, his 19th and 20th of the season, and his 420th and 421st of his career. Here's Pajot for Drouin. Drouin for Pajot, and Woll made the save. Nice little give and go between Pajot and Drouin. And Joseph Woll at the top of his crease, nowhere to go with that one. Ekman Larsson will wait it out. You know, it hasn't been the season for Austin Matthews that we've grown accustomed to with the goal-scoring pace he's at. Just to put it in perspective, 18 goals before today was 28th in the NHL. That's where he was seated in terms of goal scoring. And before his hat trick on Thursday, 15 goals in 33 games. As he's starting to heat up now, obviously with 5 in his last couple. But this is a guy who had 15 goals in 11 games in the month of December 2 years ago on his way to 69. But if he's starting to heat up and the Toronto Maple Leafs are starting to get that type of production from him, they'll be back in the playoff spot sooner rather than later.
And they'll have Nylander back as well.
And that's, you know, we talked about Matthews needing a playmaker. That's a playmaker.
2 points behind Buffalo for the final wild card spot entering play today. This shot comes through from McLean.
Simple hockey gets a lot of results.
This one covered up by Woll. Thomas, to your point, goal number 421 for Austin Matthews. He's 28 years, 108 days old. When Alexander Ovechkin scored his 421st goal, he was 28 years, 203 days old. So you're talking about right at the same age in which they're producing. And I mean, it's a lot of goals, but he's got to play till 40 to get there. Ovechkin keeps moving up that ladder.
They had the same birthday, too.
Yeah.
Little nugget hidden in there.
There you go.
It was good to be born on that day.
Yeah.
This one deflected down off Barzal, who was down, and Lee, who was down, and the puck rolled wide.
Could have been a penalty there. Ekman Larsson kind of stuck the stick in these skates.
Look out, this one.
It hasn't been a game where there's a ton of shots, but these Islanders certainly haven't been able to create much offense. So you could say that the Maple Leafs have done an excellent job of checking. They've been on the Islanders in a hurry, haven't given them a lot of time and space. But I think the Islanders, now over the last minute since they've been scored on, started to outwork the Maple Leafs. But it's been the Maple Leafs period, as far as I'm concerned, just a much more intense period for them.
18 seconds to go in it. And Toronto wins the faceoff. This one deflected off of Adam Pelech, the Islanders' goal scorer. Carries in drags, but he got lost in the skates of Ekman Larsson. Riddick, they wave off the icing. Mayfield still asking for it, but they will not give it to him, and the clock will expire here in the period with the Islanders trailing 2-1 after Austin Matthews scores twice in less than 8 minutes to turn the game around for Toronto. Well, the Islanders have been held to just 13 shots through 2 periods so far against Toronto. Austin Matthews on the ice in search of his second hat trick in a row. He had a hat trick in the come-from-behind win against Winnipeg on Thursday night for the Leafs. They trailed that game 4-1, came back and won it 6-5. Donovan Drouin checking Austin Matthews tight there. Ryan Pulock hands off for Simon Holmstrom, and Holmstrom takes it wide, takes a shot, produced a rebound, but nobody sniffing around the net. Drouin with the steal. Ryan Pulock nearby, but it's Drouin who kept it from Matthews. Sent to the end boards for Holmstrom. Morgan Riley leaning on him. Matthews knocked to his knees. Puck gloved down by Pajot. Got it to DeAngelo. DeAngelo stops up. Shot and tipped down by Holmstrom, but crept just past the post. Pulock over. DeAngelo taking a look. DeAngelo loads it up. Pulock a little in too tight. Had to settle for a wrister, and it's stopped by Woll.
There's the urgency we were looking for.
Yeah, really good job of the Islanders getting on the forecheck, winning the one-on-one battles. The only sort of fly in the ointment is there's the shot and no one in front of the net. You've got to be able to anticipate that play's happening, and you got to win the fight. Maple Leafs are going to try and push you out, aren't they? And you can't let them do that.
Lee and Lawton will take the face-off, or at least that was the intention, but Lawton is tossed out.
You can never figure out when you get tossed out and when you don't, Brendan.
Off the face-off, here's Barzal, moves it to DeAngelo. DeAngelo shot off the crossbar. Second post the Islanders have hit tonight. Barzal with a chance, that one blocked. Adam Pelech, the lone goal scorer for the Islanders, backhands one wide of the net. Barzal, DeAngelo, wide open. Save made by Woll as he lunged to his right. Chipped down the ice. Lorentz giving it a run, but DeAngelo gets there ahead of him. Some of the best chances the Islanders have had all night have come here in the opening minute and a half of the period, but icing called against New York. Opportunities haven't been the problem for him. That's his 7th and 8th shot attempts of the game, but only one of them has been on net. Post doesn't count. That one tipped down by Tavares between his legs, forcing Riddick to make a save. Barzal trying to get away. Took an extra second, but he's able to fight through it. Got it ahead to Heineman.
Yeah, that was being tenacious, no doubt about that. He just refused to lose that one-on-one battle, and that's the kind of tenacity you got to have.
Schaefer going for a skate. Matthew Schaefer, coast to coast. His shot was blocked by Benoit.
Yeah, look for him to be a lot more involved. He's been pretty quiet in this game, but all of a sudden down a goal, third period, I expect him to rev the engines up.
Schaefer getting a little room here. He'll go to Gatcomb, and he wanted a return pass. Gatcomb will shoot it, though, and there's no rebound from Joseph Woll.
Schaefer is so quick. He gave it to Gatcomb, wanted it back, but he was going too quick. Took himself out of the play. How about this? You can't have too many men, so you hold on to that thing. Matthias Michelli, good luck if you're chasing behind the net. You're as good as gone. And up goes Schaefer. We see him shoot off the rush like a thrower does, and the puck continues to come around to him.
I mean, he just blows by guys like they're standing still. I mean, he's going 30 miles an hour. It seems like they're just going 20, but he's so much fun. And the end-to-end rushes, he leads all defensemen. Well, Thomas, if you or I could have skated like that, how much better would we have been?
A lot more money. It'd still be playing the game. I don't know. The list is endless. Everyone wishes they could do that.
Yeah, he is special.
Fastest player in the game again here tonight. That's a regular occurrence. Here's Ritchie. Couldn't get the backhand by Wall after the give and go with Shabanov.
Yeah, just in a little tight. Nice give and go, but kind of ran out of room in a hurry. But the Islanders, Thomas, as you said, you know, they need to play with a lot more intensity. And
went off the skates of Anders Lee, and Benoit looking for the exit. It's Nick Robertson. That's the brother of Jason Robertson. And despite having a great season, was left off the U.S. Olympic team in yesterday's announcement. This puck will be icing again against Toronto. Well, there's Ilya Sorokin. That's news because he has not been on the bench since the Christmas break. He has been nursing an injury. He said it is something that was just nagging and took a little longer, obviously, than he thought it was going to be to get back. But he's healthy enough to play. That's why you back up.
Well, and so that would be my question: is why isn't he playing? If if something happened, he'd have to go and play, Thomas. So why isn't he playing? Obviously, they'd hope they can get a couple more days rest for him, and that's the why he's not playing. But the same question, he should be playing.
Yeah, a lot goes into it, right? IR, roster decisions, so many different things. I guess we'll hang our hat on the fact that he's ready to go.
And that's the good news. Not that Rittich has not played well, but you want your #1 goaltender in the nets as often as possible.
Holmstrom driving wide. He'll take it around the net. Lou to hit. Holmstrom for Drouin. Drouin shot blocker save made by Woll. It took a bounce away from DeAngelo and out of the zone.
Woll has been sharp all of a sudden, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Seen the puck well. Drouin's, I think, maybe the best player on the ice for the Islanders today.
Continues to go.
Holmstrom's drop. Drouin overskated, and so DeAngelo will grab it from here. Islanders play their next game on Tuesday night here at home. That'll finish up the 3-game homestand. And then starts another 7-game road trip for the Islanders on Thursday in Nashville. He's looking for his first goal in 19 games, but he's had some opportunities and had some jump here tonight. Anders Lee clubs it down. Collision with Morgan Riley. Puck gets through. Stetcher will elevate it up and out, they say. St. Louis guy in net as well. His D partners from St. Louis. There's some good hockey players. The Chuck brothers coming out of Clayton Keller. St. Louis has produced some good quality NHL players.
Dakota Joshua not in the lineup tonight. I think him as well, Brendan.
Yeah.
Oh, great hunt by McLean. Beat that icing out.
Takes Benning to the boards. Zeke has finished his check. Tavares left that one for Michelli. Matias Michelli. And Tavares couldn't hold up. Took a shot after the whistle, and Tony DeAngelo lets him hear about it.
So that's not a good sign.
Well, the Islanders will play without him for now. 5 minutes gone here in the third.
It's been a good start for the Islanders in this third period. Created some good opportunities. But it may take 1958 to maybe tie it, and that's okay.
Yeah, Waugh trying something different with his forward units as well.
Shabanov, Barzell, and Heineman. As McWard keeps this puck from getting to the net. And he'll go off the glass, and Austin Matthews batted it into the Islander bench. And we get a whistle. There was a quick trip to the locker room for Tony DeAngelo.
Yeah, came back, and maybe they just checked it out a little bit, stretched it a little bit. I think he's still in a little bit of pain, but obviously he wants to play.
So Patrick Waugh, no doubt, will keep an eye on that. Bob Boughner, who runs the defense for the Islanders, making some changes here, taking Schaefer and Pulock off and putting McWard and Mayfield on. You can see Tony DeAngelo still in some discomfort.
That's the fourth line for the Toronto Maple Leafs, so you don't necessarily have to have your best out there at this time. And
Cowan turned it over. Anders Lee trying to take it through the neutral zone, but a good stick there from Waugh. Mayfield first on it. McWard put in a tough spot, but he makes a good play for Ritchie.
Yeah, good positional play there by Ritchie, just to coming back low, supporting his defenseman. You like that kind of stuff, Thomas, when you're a D-man.
Yeah, give me a center in a good spot. And it's the key to the breakout. You get to go play down here.
Stetcher for Robertson. He'll go with the high flip out through center. Knocked down by Mayfield. Put it in an area for Siplikov to come get. Protecting the puck for Ryan Pulock. Islanders finishing their change, so will the Leafs. Pajot saw Drouin, gave it to him. Here's Jonathan Drouin with speed, and he shot in stride, but right onto the maple leaf on the jersey of Joseph Woll. Islanders now all of a sudden lead in shots on goal in this game, 20-18. Means they've got 7 unanswered here to start the period. And 7 shots on goal in the first 6.5 minutes after only getting 13 through the first 2 periods. Tony DeAngelo looks to be moving okay as that one Lookout batted into the bench. And well, he took over as McLean got tripped up, no call coming. Took over from Lane Lambert, who was the associate coach here before he got the head job in Seattle. And as Gatcomb trying to move it along. And Derek Lalonde, who was last 3 years the head coach of the Detroit Red Wings, was also the head coach for the Red Wings while Bob Boughner was on the staff in Detroit. He's now on the Islander bench. Those two were let go on the same day last year, around Christmas time.
That's a bad
Heartless from Steve Eisenman.
Oh, really? Do it January 1 or something.
I think they did it on the 26th, December 26th. Yeah. Enjoy Christmas and then.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Just thanks for coming. Here's Schaefer in stride. He'll take it around the net. Schaefer bangs it off the wall. It's Holmstrom to play it behind. Coming to Pajot. Pajot taking a look. Behind the net, got through Drouin. Schaefer. Right back where it came from, but Austin Matthews got to it. Holmstrom had a chance on it. This one punched out. Schaefer's hurt. Matthew Schaefer shaken up, goes to the bench and down the tunnel.
Yeah, he's hurting a little bit. Bent over as far as I can see. Didn't see the check though, Brendan.
He came down the wall to keep the play alive. I mean, he was everywhere on that shift. The good news is right now he's down the tunnel, but he's not all the way down the tunnel. So
they continue to work on Schaefer in the tunnel. And the Islanders continue to work on getting this game even. Adam Pelech will turn it back. Islanders have scored 2 or fewer in 9 straight games. Just trying to get this offense going as this one lifted into the crowd on the entry.
Well, it's going to turn into a face-off game here, guys, as we take a look at Schaefer as trying to shake that one off. And Toronto Maple Leafs, what you mentioned them being a good face-off team, they are, right? I mean, statistically right now, first in the NHL. So you figure you might get some offense off an offensive zone face-off, but it's going to be tough. You got to win these ones as Tavares digs in with Barzal. Nice win there by 13.
And that's important. It allows you to get the puck in and you create some solid forechecking, maybe some offense.
Schaefer is back, seated on the Islander bench as Matt Barzal gets pushed off against the wall by McCabe. Nice. Chopped it ahead for Michelli. Shabanoff hustling back to mirror John Tavares on the dump in by Michelli. Shabanoff with Pelech. Pelech couldn't sneak that one by Robertson, but stayed on it. Tavares ties him up. Shabanoff to Heineman. Islanders are out. Barzal will give off for DeAngelo. Barzal into the slot. Heineman's shot was blocked by Benning, and Robertson racing the other way. McWard back. Michelli coming. Robertson's pass slowed up by McWard. Barzal took it. Heineman got tripped up, lost the stick. He'll go to the bench. Meanwhile, Cole McWard took a hard hip check from Benoit.
That fourth line is miserable to play against, Thomas. I mean, they just don't let up. They don't pass up a chance to get a check.
Mayfield turned towards his net and then able to duck behind it. Played it off the glass. Bouncing puck kept alive by Troy Stecher. Heineman's stick still in play down there along the goal line. Now it'll be cleaned up by the referee behind the play as Gatcomb elevates this one to center.
Yeah, he's looking for a change.
Scott Lawton. Easton Cowan. Nice pass for Lawton. McWard shut down the feed to the front of the net.
Broken up a couple plays on that long shift there as McWard is probably looking to get a change here if they can hand this one off.
Gives to DeAngelo. McWard to the bench. But the pass is coming to him, and he has to change his plans as Adam Pelech smartly didn't put his skates on the ice.
Yeah, he was waiting to see, are you going to come off or not? Smart move.
This one off the glass and out of play. Ron Stewart 186 and Stumpy was 118. He was fourth on the list.
I should have had that. I really should have had that.
Really good try, Thomas.
Thanks for playing. Pulock shot goes wide. Holmstrom gonna grab that one off the end wall. Coming up on 9 minutes to play here in the third period. Jake McCabe is a little slow to get up for Toronto. Here's Schaefer back on the ice. Looks to have shaken that off. Here's Ryan Pulock. Wrister tipped down. Rebound! Knocked away from Holmstrom before he could get it on goal. Pulock can't hold it through. Pajot for Drouin. Schaefer wants it. He gets it. Matthew Schaefer driving wide. Comes to the net.
Are you serious?
This kid's incredible. Matthew Schaefer has tied it.
That cannot happen. No, that's a no.
But this whole shift, he did something at the start of his shift that was like, told the guys to slow down, saying, no, don't do this. Hold on to the play right here. Watch this. He goes, no, I want the puck here. He's possessed. And he scores the goal 30 seconds later.
Well, look at this move. Power move. And again, hangs on, takes a look. He's got his head up all the way. Good turn, crossovers, slides, and then just waits long enough to get it past the extended leg. That is an unbelievable goal. Hey, whatever you can do, I can do better. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
That's good for everybody.
We saw Austin Matthews score that goal, the all-time leading goal scorer in Maple Leafs history. And the 18-year-old defenseman just did the same thing at a higher speed. Exact same thing.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. That'll be the goal of the week.
Oh, my goodness.
Might even be the goal of the year. That's how good that was.
He did it at 22.7 miles per hour.
It was the whole shift was insane.
And it's his first shift back from getting a 10-2 in the tunnel after that cross-check from Domi. I guess they poked the bear. Here's Benoit.
Well, he said he would pick up the pace now that they were down the goal.
He heard you, Bush.
There's a chance for Robertson, and the Leafs answer right back.
Can't happen.
While the crowd was still chanting Matthew Schaefer's name, Nick Robertson puts the Leafs back on top.
Yeah, the fourth line comes through for the Toronto Maple Leafs on a good forecheck and a great passing play. And again, this is in such a good position. So, I mean, turning away, circling, and then all the way through the middle. So, two defensemen get caught on the same man, Mayfield, and I believe it was McCann. Gets.
You have a quick turnover, and your tendency is to close quick, right? But you can't close quick if that guy's got his eyes up. And it's a great pass. It's a quick shot by Robertson, who we've seen tonight throughout his career. He's a quick player. Doesn't take long. That momentum of the brilliance from Schaefer sucked right out. The attention's still high right here. Maybe the Islanders can respond quickly.
It was 62 seconds between the goals. They're just now announcing the Schaefer goal. The crowd had come alive after that goal, and they had to all sit down after the 9th of the season from Nick Robertson.
Yeah, really good play, and I guess he learned something from his brother.
I guess so.
Because his brother's pretty good around the net also.
So the Islanders with work still to be done. Down one again with 7.5 to go. Adam Pelech will stop and wait behind the net. Pelech, long-range feed for Cizikas. He'll tip it in around Morgan Rielly. Rielly recovers, shovels up the boards. Cizikas can't get it. It's gloved down by Yarncroke. Gatcomb, Cizikas, they dig for it. Nick Waugh gets the only assist on the goal from Nick Robertson. And while Drouin and Pajot got some of their easier assists on the goal from Matthew Schaefer. Around from Yarncroke towards McMahon. Ekman Larson changing sides of the ice. Off the bench came Domi to get it. Schaefer trying to slip away from McMahon. Change directions, and there he goes.
We haven't heard the last from him tonight.
Here he is. Schaefer Will pass, will skate. That pass just out in front of him as Ekman Larsson cut him off. Drouin's pass stolen away by Austin Matthews. And now it's McMahon. He'll drive in. A backhand that popped up in the air off Riddick. It lands behind. Matthews to the front. Holmstrom cleans it up, but it's shot by Benning that never made it through. It'll land down for Simon Holmstrom. Holmstrom gains the line, and then Benoit takes him out of the play.
You're not called that.
Drouin and Matthews tangle for it, but it's Benoit for Benning. And now Pelech. The wrister guided off the front of the net by Woll.
Islanders haven't had a power play yet, have they, Brendan?
They had one in the first.
Okay.
That 4-on-3 that turned into a 5-on-4. Couldn't capitalize. But it has not been a penalty-filled affair. Here's Pelech for DeAngelo. Steps. Put it to Barzal, who was covered, but it rolled through for Pelech, who tries to get around Knies. Pelech hands off for Drouin. Drouin out into the slot for DeAngelo, and it's blocked and cleared out by McMahon.
Yeah, good job by McMahon holding his position. Islanders, I thought, had a couple other times just to shoot the puck that looked like they had a path towards the net.
Coming up on 5 minutes to play in regulation time. First of 3 this season between the Islanders and Leafs. They won't see each other again until St. Patrick's Day.
I think that was offside.
Me too.
Yeah, Thomas, you too, huh?
Well, we won't have to review it as Tavares comes in one-on-one against Schaefer. Tavares protecting. Couldn't drive through it. Schaefer finishes the check. Crowd appreciates that. And then Tavares forced into a turnover. Look at Schaefer go. Barzal couldn't get on the puck, though. Boy, Schaefer was flying again up the left wall.
Jeez. Look at him, directing traffic.
It's going to change again, trying to keep 30-second shifts now for Schaefer, just because he's going up the ice like a forward every time. And, yeah, you got to make sure your shifts are short, Thomas.
I think the guys sense it too. He's on the ice, he's going to go. Make sure you get him the puck. And yeah, short is the name of the game here as he's going all out.
Gatcomb finished the check, puck coming around. Quick outlet pass for Robertson, and the Leafs escape quickly. Stout Mayfield. Gatcomb. He'll play it in. Cizikas gets to it with Benoit. 4 minutes to go. Shabanov takes a shove there. Puck squirts free. Waugh. Benoit on for Cowan. Pelech steps up. Got it with his skates. Cizikas, he'll get it deep. Islanders get a change wholesale here. Morgan Riley waiting for some options to jump onto the ice. He'll hit the red line. He'll dump it in. Simon Holmstrom had it knocked away. Blocked his feet just into the skates of Jarnkrok. Pajot will turn it back. 3.5 to go. Long feed for Drouin. Drouin looking for someone to give it to him. Left it for Pajot with speed. Pajot shakes, trying to recover the puck. Holmstrom behind his back, able to play it to an area but can't catch up to it. Lawton will knock it down the ice, but not enough juice behind it for an icing call.
Well, the pace has been great here. Honestly, a whistle would benefit the Islanders. Get to a TV timeout, get rested right now. They've been coming time after time. If it's not a goal, a whistle would do.
Heineman serves it around towards Ryan Pulock. Pulock to DeAngelo. Islanders pushing for the game-tying goal. Heineman, he scores! Emil Heineman. And for the second time in the last few minutes, the Islanders come up with the equalizer.
Really good stuff by the Islanders. Just having the patience to be able to make the right plays. That's a little chip and chase. Recover the puck and then go all the way around. And Barzal with a beautiful pass to Heineman. Little 5-hole action, Thomas.
Well, you watch this thing come around, and what a pass this is. As it comes up the wall here, and the Islanders pressing, everyone going. But Heineman, he had a turnover earlier in the game. It resulted in a goal. He's trying to find it. What a pass that is by Matt Barzal. On his stick, off of his stick, doesn't even have to look. Beautiful, and this guy gets the puck off so quickly. He's got a flair for the big moments as well. What a response from Heineman. After it was his fault earlier on, the answer back that you're looking for.
13th goal of the season for Emil Heineman. And with 2.5 to go, we're all tied again. Troy Stecher going for a quick rush up the ice. He put it behind the net. Michelli hangs on to the puck. Michelli turned around by Ryan Pulock. Stays with him, though. Michelli, Tavares. Cizikas on him. Tavares out high in the zone. He'll play it deeper for Michelli. Pollock with help from Shabanov. They can't get it out. Not yet. Nice. Knocked to his knees. Tavares to the front. That shot blocked by Gatcomb. Ekman-Larsson winds and waits. Chaos in front of the net. That pass. Handcuffed. Stetcher comes out of the zone. Gatcomb able to beat his man to the puck. Gatcomb will make sure it gets deep. That brilliant setup by Matt Barzal on the primary assist. The 349th of his career to pull even for 6th on the all-time list in Islanders history with John Tavares. Tony DeAngelo gets the secondary assist. And now we've got 90 seconds to go in the game, tied at 3. Holmstrom along the wall. He'll play it down deep. After 9 straight games, the Islanders finally get that 3rd goal of the night. But they need a 4th. Schaefer, can he provide it? He'll knock it around the net. He'll head back into position as McMahon. In over the line with Drouin, trying to keep him to the outside. Does a nice job and locks up his stick. McMahon's pass to Domi. So we hit the final minute. Domi's shot blocked. Pulock bangs it off the wall, gets it out of the zone. Riley gives puck possession back to the Islanders. 50 seconds to go. Leafs racing for a change. Pass ahead for Barzal. They'll put in the corner for Anders Lee. Lee and Stetcher battle for it with 40 to go. Ekman-Larsson sent it to Lorentz. Glove down by Yarncroke. He'll move it to Lawton. Lawton gains the line. Lawton a long-range shot blocker saved by Riddick. 30 seconds left. This one comes wide. Lee trying to poke it past Stetcher. Knocked him down. Couldn't make the pass. Threw it back, checking Lawton. Clock down to 20. Lawton taking a look. Calculated risk here in the final seconds for everybody on the ice. Lawton, the high flip. Pellick moves it away to Mayfield. Stretch pass on for Gatcomb, rolls back. But you have to like the fight in the New York Islanders. Down twice by a goal in the 3rd period. They tie it both times. They've earned a point and maybe more on the back of Matthew Schaefer. Islanders trailing 2-1 to start the 3rd period. Matthew Schaefer put on a show, tied the score at 2, 11-10 into the period. But a minute and 2 seconds later, Nick Robertson from Nick Waugh, and it was 3-2 Toronto. But Emil Heineman, before the Islanders even needed to pull the goalie to get the extra attacker on from Matt Barzal, tied it up with 2:45 on the clock, sends this game to overtime. Our keys to the game are brought to you by your local GMC dealer. We are professional grade. And there you see it, the 11th of the season for Matthew Schaefer. The kid's worth the price of admission, guys.
This has been a lot of fun in the 3rd period. The intensity of that game, it felt like a playoff game to me. And what happens when the intensity rises up is the best players that have that thrill for the big moment, they show up. And that's what we're seeing.
Halfway through the season, the NHL has had 70% of their games considered a close game. That means 1-goal game or 2 goals with an empty netter. That's the highest percentage at this stage of the season ever. And the 2nd straight season at 75% or higher. We've got another close game here tonight. Final score will be 4-3. The winner, TBD. 12th overtime game of the season for the Islanders. 11th for the Leafs, and the Islanders win the face-off. Schaefer, Barzal, and Heineman against Matthews, Tavares, and Riley.
All the eggs in one basket here.
Schaefer to Heineman. Heineman looking for Barzal on a delay, and he'll have to double back.
Yeah, he wanted it inside the blue line. He would have had a lot of speed and would have been a difficult cover for the Maple Leafs.
Barzal hangs onto it. Tavares trying to intercept. Matthew Schaefer came to help out. Matthews steals the puck away from Schaefer. Barzal trying to hound him back for it. Barzal got tripped up in the skates of Matthews. This provides a momentary rush for Toronto. They don't take advantage of it, though, as Matthews heads off the ice. 45 seconds into overtime. Nyes is on, as well as Matthias Michelli, and now Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Islanders still with the original 3 they started overtime with, as Matthew Nyes carries in.
Well, they've had a lot of rest, though. They can just look out, make sure you have the man each.
They feed it down low for Michelli. Schaefer able to knock him off balance, take the puck. Can he get away, though? Michelli gives him a rough ride. Puck in his skates. Down goes Schaefer. And the puck comes to center.
Well, could have been a trip there, I think, Thomas.
Yeah, got tangled up there, and Islanders just trying to get off now. Barzal a couple times.
Turned over almost by Michelli. Barzal was trying to get back into position, didn't know that puck was available.
Yeah, they're both looking to get off. And now you got to focus in on just making sure you have your man.
Here's Nines. He shoots. He missed his spot. And Schaefer had his stick lifted. Barzal trying to get away from Michelli, and he will. This will allow a couple of fresh bodies in Holmstrom and Adam Pelech onto the ice, and Barzal finally able to get off after a 2-minute shift to start overtime. It's all or nothing for Toronto in overtime. They've played 11 games past regulation. 10 of them have ended here in sudden death. Matthews able to get to it before it got to the line. His shot blocked by Drouin.
Adam Pelech tried to get by him and didn't have any speed at all.
Matthews shadowed by Holmstrom, approaching the halfway point of overtime. Robertson will get the feet moving. Robertson working on Drouin. Turns it back. Drouin will stay with him. Austin Matthews, 2 goals in the game. He'll drop it off for Stetcher. And Stetcher will take it out of the zone. Matthews had it, coughed it up. He goes down, gets back to his feet, still has it. Makes a pass across. McMahon to the front. Matthews, no! He knocked it out of the air and got hung up in the pads of David Reddick. Islanders the other way. Drouin will double back as the Islanders, a sigh of relief and a chance to take a breath.
There's a hat on the ice. They thought it was a hat trick.
The referee just tossed it into the Islander bench. D'Angelo will leave off for Max Shabanoff. Quickly to D'Angelo. D'Angelo, spin move. Nothing there. Didn't get away from Riley. Now it's Pajot. His last goal is an overtime winner in Vegas. Shabanoff stops away from McMahon. D'Angelo. On now for Pajot. He'll leave it for D'Angelo. Shabanoff. Nothing there. He'll turn it around. Minute 20 to go in OT. Shabanoff dropped off for D'Angelo. He makes his move. He'll get it to Shabanoff again. Barzal onto the ice. They get it to him. Barzal dancing, taking it around on Wall. Pass to D'Angelo. Steps and shoots. A glove save for Wall. He'll play it alive. Riley
Hurry up.
sent it around the boards. Islanders getting Schaefer onto the ice as the Leafs come through center. Domi had it taken away just as we hit the 1 minute mark. Here's Barzal with Schaefer. Barzal waits, twists it for Schaefer! This kid's incredible! His second of the night is an overtime winner against the Leafs on Hockey Night in Canada.
Well, look at this coming back, and then it just bounced away, and Riddick was able to clear it away. Little deflection by Matthews, and all the way across the line. I could have easily have ended the game.
The top players in the world show up. This kid's showing us all on a night where Austin Matthews broke an unthinkable type of record for the Toronto Maple Leafs. This kid's just getting started.
And you know, you talk about great players make great plays. Barzal knew he was coming. He didn't have to look.
Yeah.
He knew.
Austin Matthews with his 2 goals was number 2. How about number 1?
From your New York Islanders with 2 goals, including the game winner in overtime, number 48, Matthew Schaefer.
Every night it's 10 out of 10. I mean, I love this place. Like I said before, I know it's repetitive, but you know, the fans, you know, make you feel at home, and when they chant your name and you're getting fired up, I just want to stay out there and just keep getting the fans fired up. So, yeah, big win for us, big 2 points for the team.